No. Tyreek, unhappy. Wait
Tua
just
for MVP?
1 second. Pro Football Talk. Here comes Florio floating around an idea. A Tyreek Hill trade from the Dolphins back to the Chiefs would not be easy to pull off. I like that. Like, oh, okay, so what are you saying? Florio, the idea is percolating, maybe just among Florio and his friends, that the Dolphins could/should just trade Hill back to the Chiefs. I thought you were going to hate this idea as you went through the cap, but you're
the cap's
head in your heart kind of had a big
cap's
fight.
doable. Because Tyreek Hill's bonus money mostly, and so it's the cap would not be.
Is there any financial downfall to it for the Chiefs?
For
in the future?
They would have to make sure they have $15 million for him next year. And then, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like that, which is nothing. Like,
Right.
yeah, that's what,
Exactly.
no. The big cap piece of it is the dead cap hit Miami would take by trading him, but it would be because this is a lost season. First, let me put on my fake news hat for a moment. Not fake news. The hat is fake.
The hat is fake. The news is
the news is real.
That's a great tagline.
The hat is fake. The news is real. I think we just might have solved trust in media wilds. Let's work on that after the show. Optimism is too strong of a word, but there is percolating questions about whether or not Rashee Rice is actually out for the year. And they don't think they're going to know until probably Monday. Today's Tuesday. And so what was initially on field, essentially diagnosed as torn ACL, that has not been able to been confirmed. And so he's certainly out for at least a month. But, and my guess, and I think right now if they had to put money on it, they'd say probably out for the year. But they have not been able to determine the guy tore his ACL is out for the year. So let's just, so
that's good news.
So that's, well, it's not awful news yet, so we'll see. Here's the thing. I believe when you're trying to be a 10, 15, 20-year dynasty, you have to make sober-minded decisions, recognize the value of draft picks and those contracts, be reminded of the fact the Chiefs built an entire super young, excellent defense aside from Chris Jones, through the draft. It's what has kept them afloat when the offense has been figuring things out. They've traded away Tyreek Hill since then. They are 7-0 in the playoffs. They have not lost a playoff game. Mahomes has won 2 Super Bowl MVPs and 1 league MVP. With that said, oh my God, I'd love him back.
Yeah,
I mean, I would break so many of my other rules about team building to go for a three-peat, because they have hit on so many of the young defensive players in the draft. I feel like if you had to give up a first and a third for Tyreek Hill, they could sustain that. You know what I mean? And they could make it work financially. And then even if you get amazing Rashee Rice news, all of a sudden you have a perfectly built, dynamic receiving core out of thin air.
Yeah.
Because Tyreek's your one, Rashee's your possession guy, and Xavier Worthy is your, rookie speedster, and all of a sudden Tyreek Hill's the second fastest player on the team. So this would involve Miami waving the white flag on the season. But if I'm Miami, they should do it, and they might say, well, but not for next season. I didn't feel like Miami was going to be contending with Tua. How they looked again. It was just 7 quarters of the season.
But I didn't think
I mean, if Rashee's out for the year, the Chiefs are going to go. If Miami's even a tiny bit open to it, I would probably pay 110 cents on the dollar to have him back.
I don't know if Miami will do it. It looks like Tua's coming back this year. I mean, that seems
but what
to be
if they're
the way
1-7?
But then I think they might think for the future. That's their whole thing is offense. They have no defense. We know they're soft. That's what they got to fix. But offensively with Tua, they click. They didn't look great in the game and a half that he played, but still,
we know it
figure
works.
You give up Tyreek, you still got Waddle and you got the running backs, but for the Chiefs, I mean, come on, what are we talking about? It's a no-brainer. I mean, my goodness, like a three-peat obviously is never guaranteed, but this would be as close as you could get. Like if they got him. Everything we talk about with the Chiefs, even as they're 4-0 and have beaten some of the best teams in the league already, is the offense.
And it's all solved by
right.
this guy.
I mean, there's like it would open things up for Kelsey underneath. It opens things up for Worthy. He can help Worthy grow and mature. It opens things up for the run game.
As a football
Well, as a football player, right. As a football player, right. But I'm just like, yes, if they can get Tyreek Hill.
There would also be some poetry to it.
He also wants to come back.
Oh, he so wants to come back.
Like
he misses it so much.
2022, late October, Kadarius Toney catches a touchdown in the Super Bowl, has a long run in the Super Bowl. 2023, October 18th, McCall Hardman, game-winning touchdown.
Well, they're going. Listen,
somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and we can talk more about this maybe in the next segment. Amari Cooper is Chiefs fans out there, and I know there's not a lot left these days. You're rooting for the Chiefs. You're rooting against the Browns every week.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want the Browns
get Tyreek.
You want the Browns to wave the white flag because Amari is super cheap, fits, 1-year deal. You wouldn't be mortgaging any part of your future. That's and we already know Amari was cool with leaving. Amari was like an Instagram post about going to San Francisco.
But if you can get Tyreek, it wouldn't be good for me and my pick with the Ravens, but
it would be great.
It'd be good for the NFL. It'd be exciting. Man.
Detroit puts up 42 points in the process of giving the Seahawks their first loss. Here's Dan Campbell on the big W.
It was a heck of a win. I thought what we did really well was we played complementary football, and that's what good teams do. Every game's going to be different, and this is one where really the offense ended up having the big hat, but ultimately defense started us out. It was a big stop to start the game, got it back in the offense's hands, and then situational football before halftime. I thought our defense did a great job, and then the end of the game, man, 2 huge stops.
San Francisco at 1, NFC odds. Lions at 2. Eagles, who are not good, tied with the Vikings, who are excellent, for 3. Then it's the Cowboys in the
big drop-off, by the way, from 3 to 5. 650 to 1,200 is a big drop-off.
Are the Lions
disrespectful to the Packers? But sorry, go ahead.
Packers,
just a little disrespectful.
Yeah, they lost to the Eagles and they lost to the Vikings. So where do you want to be?
No, I understand. I'm talking about it being 12-1, but go ahead. Don't worry.
Are the Lions the best team in the NFC?
One of the things you have started to like to say, and I hate to say this, but that I wish I had come up with.
Oh, we're going to be here for a while.
Is I'm an evidence guy.
Yeah.
It's just a good, easily digestible way to be like, that's how I view things. The Lions have the best case of anyone that they're the best team. The evidence would say they're the best team within the context of the evidence can't just be who has the best record. We know that. There has to be a little more nuance than simply put the standings from 1 through 16. They were excellent last year. They filled in whatever little holes they had last year. Those appeared to be good additions that they have made, and young players getting better, like Aiden Hutchinson, like Jamison Williams, who was a superstar collegiate player. Dealt with injury, suspension, and now we're seeing him. Everyone knew they had an excellent offensive line. And I should say, I whiffed on this game entirely. I said I thought it'd be close and low scoring. Instead, it was kind of close, but super high scoring, and the Lions controlled it. One of the reasons I thought was because the Lions without their center, Frank Ragnow, didn't matter. Offensive line could deal with it anyway. They have outstanding weapons. They are healthier, Ragnow's injury notwithstanding, than some of the other major contenders. They have a quarterback who has experience in the biggest games, even if he didn't play well in that Super Bowl. We've seen him play in multiple playoffs. And they have just enough playmakers on defense. They didn't have Branch last night. They'll have him back. Hutchinson's awesome. And so right now, they have the strongest argument of any team that this very moment they're the best team in the NFC.
You make a good point. You make a good argument because you include last year. All right, we always especially early in the season, we take that into consideration. San Francisco's banged up. And will continue to be banged up, it seems. My pick in the NFC was Green Bay, and I see no reason not to feel good about my pick. Obviously, they just got Jordan Love back. Got stomped by Minnesota in the first half, came back. His first game back, I think he'll get better. So I feel good about Green Bay, but I'm going to answer it for right now.
Yeah, that's what I was doing as well. Yeah, it's different than what will happen in 4 months.
I think Green Bay will get to the Super Bowl, but right now, I still would not go with Detroit. You could get me if you want to include last year. I think the team right now in the NFC is Minnesota.
I agree.
Minnesota.
I know you.
And here's the argument, Nick. Now, again, last year they weren't very good, so if you want to make that case. But this year, I think they've played a tougher schedule. They're undefeated.
Their schedule's been brutal.
Right.